8 Best Open World Games for Consoles in 2021. 2020 was a pretty unique year with this coronavirus health pandemic outbreak. It caused so many development studios to shut their doors and work remotely. As a result, some games got pushed back, so we're expecting 2021 to be quite filled with new, exciting games. Let me show you 8 of them. Number 1. Biomutant. Biomutant is a game we've been following for a little while now. Here, the game throws players into a world that's controlled by animals. The title revolves around a poisonous spring that's causing a potential disaster to all life, and it's up to you in finding a means to save the day. This is an action RPG where players will have to fight off hostile creatures, either with melee weapons or gunplay. But more importantly, for this list, it's a game set in an open-world environment. We're not sure just how big of a world we'll get to explore, but it does look like after the initial setup of the game, players will be able to freely explore of their own will. Number 2. Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart is set up in an alternative 1955 timeline where the Soviet Union has advanced greatly with new technological wonders. Players are stepping into a KGB special agent named P3 that animals control, who is tasked with visiting a factory that's gone silent. To discover what's going on with this factory, players will need to venture into an area that's ruled by robots and oddity creatures. We've been waiting a good while for this game, and we're hopeful that Atomic Heart hits the marketplace at some point before 2022 hits. As for the open world element, we're left waiting for more confirmation as to how big of a map that players will get to explore. We know that the game has sections of the factory in different areas, but just how expansive the map is for players to venture through and what all you'll be able to do in this world remains to be seen. Number 3. Stalker II. Stalker II was a game that the developers tried to get up into the marketplace several years ago at this point. Development was scrapped but was picked back up once again, with players now expecting this title to launch later this year. Much like the first game, players take the role of a stalker who ventures into the Zone, an area that's filled with radiation due to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It's here that you will seek out goods, but also come face to face with horrific mutated creatures and abnormalities. Furthermore, this will feature a seamless open-world experience where you can freely explore the dangerous post-apocalyptic wilderness. We haven't seen much footage when it comes to the world we'll get to explore at this point, but the developers are still pushing for a launch this year, so we'll have to keep tabs on this game. Number 4. Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is a game that Ubisoft first revealed during their E3 2017 showcase, and since then it's been kept on the down low. Initially, the game was showcased to be a pirate title where players took control of a pirate crew and venture out to plunder. We knew that this would be set in an open-world environment where players not only could freely explore the open oceans, but dock to manage their ship along with its crew. However, since then it looked like Ubisoft was revamping the game and have yet to showcase its new form. Whether it's still a pirate game focused around sailing the seas for loot, or if it's changed into something completely different, is unknown right now. If Ubisoft plans to bring this game out this year, we're bound to receive some news or trailer revealing their new vision of Skull and Bones. Number 5. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild was a massive hit for the franchise. It took players into a big, open-world environment, with Link having to save the day once again. This is a must-have title for the Nintendo Switch platform, and it was a bit of a surprise to see that a sequel was already in the works from Nintendo. It was unveiled back in E3 2019 that a new installment would be coming out that will help build up the world we are already familiar with, along with a brand new storyline and gameplay mechanics. Unfortunately, we don't know anything about this sequel yet, and it's uncertain if we'll even get the game this year. However, we're interested in seeing just how the world will change up to, or if we might even see some new areas get tacked onto the game. Number 6. No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 3 is set 2 years after the events of Travis Strikes Again: No More Heroes. The video game will retain the hack and slash the series is known for, while featuring our protagonist Travis Touchdown. It seems that a new threat has emerged, leaving Travis to stop an alien invasion and save humanity. This will also mark 10 years since the release of No More Heroes 2, so it should have a pretty big community of fans eager to try out the next installment. Likewise, we know that this game will feature a bigger open world than the previous installments to the franchise, but we're waiting to see some more footage to get an idea of just how expansive this game's world map will be. Originally, No More Heroes 3 was supposed to come out in 2020, but thanks to the pandemic, the title was pushed towards a launch sometime within this year. Number 7. Everwild. Rare is a pretty iconic video game development studio that had brought out the likes of Banjo-Kazooie and James Bond 007 GoldenEye. Their next video game release is set to be Everwild, an adventure title that has visuals somewhat similar to Nintendo's The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. We don't know a whole lot about this game other than the first trailer showcased, which seems to put players in a fantasy world filled with nature, animals, and magic. What exactly you'll end up doing in this game is still a bit of a mystery, but being a Rare title, we can expect the game to hit the marketplace on the Xbox Game Pass right at launch. Number 8. Gotham Knights. If you're looking to step back into Gotham City as the Dark Knight this year, then you're out of luck. However, you will get an opportunity to clear the streets of Gotham City as either Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, or Red Hood. Within Gotham Knights, players will follow a brand new storyline that features Bruce Wayne's demise. However, Bruce sent out one last message to the Bat family, alerting the group that it's up to them when it comes to keeping the citizens of Gotham City safe. So far, we know that this is an action RPG title where players will be putting up a fight against a new enemy group, the Court of Owls, which was featured in the DC Comics universe from the New 52 Batman run. Gotham Knights are also set up to be a completely open world right from the start, and best of all, there's no level grinding. You will find that the enemies will become stronger as you level up naturally, so it doesn't look like the game will keep you out from any particular area. I know the list finished, but I really want to add some extras worth mentioning. Ratchet and Clank: Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank is a pretty iconic platformer series for PlayStation. Now the latest upcoming installment, Ratchet and Clank: Rift Apart, is gearing up to release later this year. We don't know a whole lot about this game so far, but from what was showcased, it looks like Ratchet and Clank get a chance to dive into new worlds where they'll meet some interesting characters, all while attempting to stop the evil Dr. Nefarious from destroying time and space. This time around, it looks like players will have a new tool to add to their arsenal. With the Rift Tether, players can quickly teleport to different areas of the map. There's even a play on different portals that will take players to new worlds to explore. Again, much like other titles in our list, we're waiting to see just how expansive these worlds are for players to explore, but it looks like we can expect Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart to make use of the PlayStation 5's power. Monster Hunter Rise. The Monster Hunter franchise will see a new installment released exclusively for the Nintendo Switch this year. Monster Hunter Rise was developed alongside Monster Hunter World, and as a result, you're going to see some similarities between the two. At its core, the gameplay for the franchise remains the same as players prepare their gear, venture out, and attempt to eliminate one of the varieties of monsters that flood the world. Likewise, much like Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise is an open-world video game rather than going back to zones. As the name suggests, there is one more component that offers another element to the game which we haven't seen before, which is a vertical movement. Here, players can scale mountains and reach new heights. To top it off, there is a multiplayer component still for Monster Hunter Rise for those of you who wish to join together for a hunt online. Chia. Chia is an upcoming adventure game that puts players in control of a young girl as she explores her home island. There are secrets to be unveiled, NPCs to meet, and a grand journey for players to embark on when this game launches. What makes Chia a bit unique is the fact that players can transform into over 30 different animals and over 100 other objects. By transforming into something like a dog, players will dig holes in the ground or fly high within the skies like a bird. The game doesn't have a launch date attached to the project quite yet, but we're hopeful that we'll get a chance to dive into this indie game before 2021 wraps up. Okay folks, since I'm sure you liked my video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I'll see you at my next video.